Good morning. We are going to be taking this sketch and turning it into this painting. So the video might be a bit longer. I'm going to be using, I can't remember the name of this set. When I remember, I will post it in the description, but it's a pretty neat set I got from Japan. And then my palette for mixing paints and pictures. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint this from like the red sketch lines, and then I'll be inking it afterwards. So put my camera back so you guys can see what I'm doing. One of these times I am going to try and do a live stream, because it will be interesting to see if anyone has any questions when I am painting, like to see like what questions people have about either working in watercolor or working with other types of paint mediums. I do acrylic. I'm not really proficient in oil, but I do work in acrylics a little bit. So I can probably help out a little with that. Normally when I start a piece, especially if it's a human figure, which 99% of my paintings are human figures, I always go with the skin tone first, trying to match that down, because that's the area I'm going to have to work with a lot of tones, and I need to be able to have certain areas dry, so it's usually the first layer I add in. I don't have, sorry, I didn't show you guys, but I do have a picture of the skin for McCree up, the new Lifeguard skin, just so, hey dog here, I can reference the colors and the way his arm goes. His arm isn't correct. I know his arm isn't correct. I actually do need to spend time studying it, but as of right now, we're gonna wing it. If you guys have any questions about the colors I'm using to do skin tones, please let me know. In the comments, and I will do my best to answer. Right now I've got a purple going. I don't have the exact name of the purple. It's more of a dark red magenta, like a dark purpley magenta, and then I've got a couple of different yellows I've mixed it with to get this skin tone for him. Different characters of different ethnicities, I said that right, will have different base colors in their skin, but McCree tends to have a darker tone to his skin, so that's what I'm doing here. Placing that in. go back in later with more the shadow tones. Right now I just wanted it to blend. His face in a few of the shots is really, really dark under that hat, like, and he's very tanned, so I just wanted to make sure I got that covered, and then I can go in and put in darker shadows and stuff after. I'm about to do something I never ever really suggest. Like, I've just worked these areas, so they're wet, and I'm going into the area right next to it with color. This isn't a good thing to do. Unless you have a lot of control, this really isn't a good thing to do. So, kind of one of those things of do as I say, not as I do, which is a really horrible thing to tell people, because they're going to try it. They're going to do things, and then they're going to realize why you said not to do them. Yeah, that definitely needs to dry before I move any further. And this, just come over here, tack that in. When I first got this paint set, I didn't really like it. I was really disappointed, and I was like, oh crap, I just spent all this money on a paint set. But after, like, I guess there must have been like something on top of the paints that were like stopping them from like really blending well. And once I got cracked that first layer, they work so much better. I'll just have to go on Amazon and figure out what the hell this paint set's called, because it's actually really good. Yeah, trees, and I stuck my hand in it. Alright. Okay. I don't know what to do about McCree's hat. I think it's kind of a ridiculous thing. By putting the shadows wet into wet, they blend out nicely, and then you don't get like the harsh lines. Sometimes I like this technique, other times I don't. Depends on what I'm doing, but for this I wanted it to blend out and have a nice gradation. Oops, sorry. Hit the camera stand. Just looking for a goddamn brush and you can't find it. Because I am right-handed, I probably should have put my camera on the left because I'm going to keep hitting it, so I apologize if we have shaky cam. I knew I was going to be painting today, and I'm a twit because I forgot all my usual painting brushes, so I'm just kind of winging it with these ones right now, which they're okay, but they don't have the sizes I like to usually use. Fine detail, I usually like about a 0 because it'll hold more paint than this 0.5, 0.05 or whatever it is. Really small, really super small brush. I don't know why they made him have bleach blonde hair. Like, it's a little out of character for me, but it's still funny. So he's got like the dark eyebrows still. See, this is what I mean. When you have wet and then you bring in wet paint, it bleeds together. I'm gonna have to do these eyebrows again. That's okay. Crap happens. And you roll with it when it does. Alright. Okay, I need red. Oh. Kind of want to draw Widowmaker as well. I really like her beach design. And Sombra just looks adorable. I am going to go over this afterwards in ink, so any details I'm not making right now I will put in ink after. Plus this is just a base layer for the paint. There's a lot more blacks in his hand. Whites. Anywhere where it bled out, I'm also going to be fixing with whiteout later. Actually, I'll probably just take it into the computer and fix it there, because I do need this digitized for printing purposes. There it is. Go. I think the only other blue portion on here is this. And this is why you don't stick your freaking hand in your paint. It's also one of the reasons why you use good paper when you're doing watercolor, and I'll show you that in a second. So I'm done this. Alright. So you just damp a brush and then you rub. And what it does is it takes up the paint and got into areas you didn't want it in. Make sure you're not using too much water, otherwise you'll get like a puddle, and what the puddles do is they end up bleeding out your areas where you don't want the water to bleed out. So I've pushed all of this around. Take that off. Take a piece of paper towel and then you just dab, and it'll pull up most of the paint that was in that area. Go back in. Touch up. That's alright. If something ever screws up in a painting, you can usually use it to your benefit or fix it up a little bit, and then like take it into Photoshop and complete the fixing of mistakes. I say Photoshop because it's the most used program, but there are other programs that will help fix mistakes as well. You don't just have to use Photoshop. Anyways, all right. Oh yeah, 21 minutes. Oh Lord. Well, I did say this video would be a bit longer. I do apologize for the length. I hate long videos. I just like short videos where I can get an image done. Anyway. Oops. Good. So, how do you make a good color for like lips and nipples, because they're pink? You take your base skin tone and then you mix it with a tiny bit of red. And that'll give you your a natural color for lips. It's just like skin tone slightly tinted more pink. So your characters won't look as, like, you won't have stark red lips, unless that's a look you're going for. But usually with if you're just trying to be natural, just a little touch of pink in the skin tone color will work. So what you're not seeing is when I'm blending, I'm just rinsing my brush, taking out the excess water, and then using that to blend, because there may be a little bit of pigment left in the brush, but it's not so much that it'll really affect the general color. I just want to pick up colors anyways. With this. Okay, I am at 26 minutes. That is pretty long for me, so I'm going to stop this video, do a bit more work. Maybe I'll post the final image on Instagram, and then everyone can see it. All right, bye.